I didn't get to go to the game last night because of work and because of getting up early in the morning. I know the guys that went up there didn't get home until 2:30 this morning and still had to get up to be in work for sort of 7:30. Well, me personally, I get up at 5:30, so it wouldn't have been any good to me. So I opted not to go to the game last night and just sit and watch it on Amazon Prime as you do. And I have to say, you know, in trying to be balanced with an opinion all the way through, the fact that we won is fantastic. You have to be honest and say, wasn't still the greatest performance. There was times in there where I was completely frustrated with the back passing, which continues to plague our performances, and frustrates me terribly when I watch it. That there's no kind of, you know, endeavour to get it forward, and I get it because there is no creativity in that team. I watch the players, and I look at it and I think I don't know who's going to get hold of it and really make something happen. Who's going to turn the game on and get hold of the ball and hold it up and you know, spring us into life, if you like. It's all very much defend it, you know, and you know, hope that your wing backs can get forward. And again, whilst getting forward, I'm still concerned about their final ball. They don't seem to put enough in. They don't seem to take the right options, you know, and so that concerns me. You know, I'd really like to see those guys bombing on and just whipping the ball in early. Whip the ball in early, you know, low, high, back post, front post, cut back. You know, do something with it. Get it into the areas where you would want your attacking players to be, because they're not getting in those positions because the ball's not going there. So it's hard for them to make a decision about where they need to put themselves. So get some consistency in that, you know, especially if you're not got any creativity in the middle. With Ndombele out, not performing, and, you know, clearly not in Conte's plans. Lo Celso injured, Dele, you know, lost his form totally. It doesn't really give him a lot of options, right? So he's got Skip, he's got Højbjerg, who are both battling kind of midfield players, defensive minded, you know, not really pushing on. So it was pretty much a flat performance for me. I have to say, and I've said it before, and I know people give me pelters for it, but Harry Kane, you want Harry Kane in the box. You want him in the box because he can score goals and so on, right? But even last night, he was probably our most creative player in the centre of midfield when he drops back, because he can pull those passes. He has that vision to play. I mean, there was one that he played out to Emerson, which was a peach, and the one he played through to Reguilon for the second goal. Great ball, great vision. So all those people that keep saying, oh, he can't play there, he can't go back into that position, I think he can. I think he could play as a number 10, further back, pulling the strings. If he had someone of real quality that he could play it to, that's going to be the out and out strike force, you know, someone like him in front of him, if you see what I mean. But maybe that's something for later on in his career. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking crap, you know, I generally do. So, but that's just my opinion, and as I've always said, this is all about people's opinions, right? But I thought Kane had a decent game overall, in terms of what he was providing outside of scoring a goal. It was great, absolutely brilliant to see Son get on the score sheet. He looked absolutely fired up and was working very, very hard last night. And you could kind of see Son getting a bit more back to where he's been. His confidence seems to be growing. So I was really happy to see that. Because if you need someone firing, it's definitely Sonny, because he brings so much to the team, you know. So I was really happy to see that. I think somebody else who had a decent game, was solid all the way through, is the much maligned Eric Dier, who for me, didn't really put a foot wrong. Was demanding from those around him. Pulled out a couple of decent cross-field passes, which he's not known for, although he has done it in the past. So it's good to see him looking solid. And I didn't feel worried. The one who worries me the most is Sanchez. But even he had an half decent game. He does really strike me a lot like Bambi on ice a lot of the time. But at the same time, they didn't get past him. He didn't give anything away, didn't concede anything stupid. So, and the other issue is who are you going to replace him with? For me, it would have been Tanganga, who I rate higher than Sanchez. But clearly, Conte knows a lot better than me of who he should be putting in there. So yeah, for me, didn't do an awful lot wrong. And yet again, as much as he has taken stick, Ben Davies again put in a half decent performance. And I know a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the fact that Ben Davies can put in a decent performance, because he clearly plays better as a left-sided from a back three than he does as an out-and-out left back. But getting forward and making an effort, I mean, you can see his heart's in the game, and he's putting everything into it, and that's what you want to see as a Tottenham fan. You want to see players really going for it, and he's been getting so much further forward than a lot of the other players, and I've got to give him credit for that. He's one of the ones who is benefiting from Antonio Conte being in charge. Personally, I thought that Winks would be the one, that he would kind of get hold of him and really start to do something different with him. I think I called it out before, but still no sign of that in my view. Still looks way off the pace. Still looks, his passing is still poor. Can't get a 5-yard pass in, and yeah, I'm really worried about him and his future at Tottenham for sure. I think he probably needs to move on for his own sake, and to improve our wage bill and give us an opportunity to get someone else in, because I don't think he's going to cut it, to be honest. And unless he can go somewhere else and rebuild his confidence, get lots of regular games in, and that might make the difference for him, But yeah, so I mean, overall, I felt it was another okay performance against a side that really didn't trouble us, which was a benefit. I don't think you can afford to play the way we are playing against a lot better opposition. But what it does mean is, with that win, it puts us right up there. I think we're in 6th place, with a game in hand against West Ham in 4th, right up against the scum. So we're still there or thereabouts, which is crazy, right? When you consider the season we're having, we're still there or thereabouts, and a win against Norwich, could put us right up in the mix, and that's a doable result. That's something we should be expecting, right? To beat a team right down there in the bottom 3. So, you can't ask for more than that. If we can get to the end of Christmas, the Christmas period, still within touching distance, and then go out in January and see what's available and see if we can strengthen the squad in the places we need to, especially when you consider that Romero is going to be out until probably February. If we can still keep within touching distance right up until then, getting him back after Christmas, maybe getting some other players in to support him. Definitely, for me, absolutely desperately need a creative midfielder just to link that play up. For me, that is probably our absolute number one priority now, even ahead of a central defender, because I think with Romero, I think Dier can do a job. So I'm not overly concerned about that position at this moment in time. If I had to say, right, you can have one player or one position filled, what position would it be? For me, it would be creative midfielder. Someone who's going to play with either Winks or Højbjerg or something like that. You know, for me, that's where I just feel that we are just so lacking. Emerson on the right and Reguilon on the left says to me that you've got pace on those wings. You know, you've got those outlets, but they've got to be able to get someone to ping the balls to them. You've got to get someone who can hold the ball up and give them that opportunity to make those runs. Whereas at the moment they're spending all their time, you know, chasing back because the midfield is just battling all the time. So for me that would be my number one priority. But well happy with a win. 3 points in the bag, gets us up there, keeps us in touching distance, gives us a little bit of confidence going into the next game against Norwich. You couldn't ask for much more than that, really. And a decent performance from Son, who looked like he was getting back on track. Could be a fluke, could be a one-off, but I'd like to think he's kind of starting to find his feet now and getting a little bit more. And if we could just get Harry firing a couple of those goals in, because I think once the first one comes, then for me, I think the floodgates will open. But he needs that service so desperately. So, you know, wing backs, get them balls in the box for him. You know, give him the confidence that he can come onto it. You know, otherwise he's just going to keep dropping deep just to get involved, because he's trying to make something happen. And last night he did. You know, last night he dropped deep. He played that ball that led to the second goal. Without that, it would have still been down to an own goal from a corner. You know, so a bit of a lucky start for us. So, you know, fingers crossed. Things are going to start to improve for him very soon. Norwich could be the one. Anyway, we'll keep it real and keep on believing. Up the Spurs.